Boys and girls, this morning we're going to find out what happens to Golly. If you remember, he got lost. So chapter 31 is Golly on the road. Golly sat by the road. Which way was the farm? Was it down the road or up the hill? Golly looked for the familiar shape of the barn, but all he saw were trees bending over the road. He listened for cows mooing and the rumble and clank of the farm tractor, but all he heard was the wind rustling in the trees. Golly took a deep breath, hoping to smell the farm's fresh grass, but all he smelled was the dusty road and the woods behind him. Suddenly, Golly tilted his head and lifted one ear. He heard a wonderful sound. It was soft at first, but it had become louder until rattle, rattle, vroom, a big yellow school bus full of noisy children chugged past. A bus, noisy children. Golly thought of the Super Kids. He missed them with all his heart. He wasn't sure which way to go, but he knew where he wanted to be, with the Super Kids. And so he began to walk, and walk, and walk, and walk, and walk, and walk. Next day is field day. Actually, our field day is Wednesday. Back at school, the Super Kids were getting ready for field day. They loved field day, but this year they were a bit sad as they stood in line waiting to go outside. A couple of days had passed and they had heard nothing from the judges of the America Goes Green contest. I guess they're not interested, sighed Lily. It would have been fun to surprise Miss Blossom, said Icky, and to be in the parade, added Doc. Everyone was disappointed. They'd worked so hard on their entry. But it was hard to stay disappointed once the games began. The day was hot and sunny. The playground was divided into different stations. At each station, there was something fun to do. Just about everything was wonderful, wet, and messy. And so they have a tug-of-war with a puddle in the middle, hula hoops, a sprinkler, a race, tossing a balloon with water filled in it. And the next chapter is Confusing Miss Blossom. After the field day activities, Miss Blossom and the Super Kids flopped down in the shade. They were eating lime popsicles when Mr. Martinez, the principal, came over. He had 2 women with him. Miss Blossom, said Mr. Martinez, these 2 ladies have just looked at your rooftop garden. Oh, said Miss Blossom. She was confused. We are judges from the America Goes Green contest, said the tall woman. We thought your entry was excellent. She handed the entry to Miss Blossom. My entry, said Miss Blossom, even more confused. The Super Kids hid their smiles behind their popsicles. I don't know anything about this, she said. Who sent this entry to your contest? We did, the Super Kids exploded. Well, said Miss Blossom, this is splendid. Just splendid. We think your garden is splendid too, said the tall woman. We have come to a decision on the America Goes Green contest. I am pleased to tell you that you win. Showers. We won, shouted the Super Kids. We'll have a float in the parade. They jumped up and down and hugged one another. They hugged Miss Blossom. They hugged Mr. Martinez. They even hugged the judges. Then everyone went up to the rooftop again, and one of the judges said, Please line up to have your picture taken for the contest website. Uh-oh, said Sal. We're a mess. He was right. The kids had muddy hands and feet, grimy faces, and lime green mouths. Quick, said Miss Blossom. She turned on the hose. Stand under the spray. So she cleaned them all off, and they got to celebrate by winning the contest. All right, boys and girls, I was going to read the next couple pages, but it looks like my computer's not cooperating. So just read the first 2 pages on Monday. All right, boys and girls, have a good day.